The Hitachi Hi-Phonic. If you like quirky, interesting examples of vintage technology, this Hitachi radio is just the thing. It has just one knob, the on-off volume knob. So how do you tune it? The Hitachi Hi-Phonic TH-600 model from 1964. The box here has a sleeve over it, a nice touch. And here's the owner's manual. We'll look at that a little later. There's a little piece of flexible foam here that is, remarkably, just like new. Most times when you see this kind of soft foam that's this old, it has crumbled to dust. We have a place for accessories here, and inside of that is an earphone in a nice small leather pouch. And there's a block of styrofoam in here, which, like the soft foam, looks like new. The radio may have been supplied with a battery included, and if it was, it would have been tucked in here. Hitachi. Housewives know the name. It's a good-looking radio, a bit hefty in both appearance and weight for a shirt pocket, I suppose, but it's a radio with a design personality. Unlike many of its peers, which by the time this radio was made in 1964, were increasingly generic and plain-looking in appearance. And here's how you get inside of it. A little tricky, but not impossible. It was impossible for somebody once, though. I remember the first one of these radios I ever got was all broken out on the bottom. I spent a lot of time practicing plastic restoration techniques on that radio, mixing up a toxic stew of goo and slathering it on this way and that, then filling and sanding and polishing in an attempt to upgrade the results from horrible to merely awful. The aluminum battery door here is very reminiscent of the Sony TR620 and of the Panasonic T601. So, since this radio only appears to have one knob, a volume knob, how do you tune it? Well, this is how. Did you see that coming? This is a far cry from the teeny tiny buttons often seen on electronics in recent years. Black buttons on black backgrounds with no words to describe what they do, just little icons. It's maddening. You know what I mean. It's like if the Encyclopedia Britannica were printed the size of an index card and written entirely with emojis. And now the radio's little instruction sheet, as I promised. On-off switch and volume control. Tuning control. Earphone jack. And battery replacement. Fair enough. And specifications. Hitachi transistor radio. I like this Hitachi, and I'm happy to have found this nice example in the box. Not just because it's nice to have the original box, but also because the radio replaces that earlier example I had, on which I had experimented, and which continued, every time I saw it, to mock me.